Hasbinallah ni'mal wakil. We are asking the Dastur from our Shaykh to speak, to say something, to send us something that is going to benefit us here and hereafter. If he's not putting us here to speak, we know it is better and safer and easier to just not to speak, to sit down and to listen. The one who listens is responsible from one thing. The one who speaks is responsible for two things. He's responsible for his speech, and he's responsible to listen to what he has to say. So your question is what? How to increase sabr? How to increase the sabr? What is the opposite of sabr? What is the opposite of sabr? Right. Mostly it is anger when we speak about sabr. Yeah, it is rushing. It is doing things without thinking, to pull back, to slow down, which is one of the meanings of sabr. But when the ego is rushing forward, whether with anger or with arrogance or something, and you're pulling it back, that is called a sabr. The sabr, it is a very high station. It is one of the most secret names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the sabr, it is a characteristic that is given to all the prophets and all the awliya Allah. But those ones who have that also, they are very high station. What makes a person to become impatient? What makes a person to become impatient? It is his ego. Because his ego is saying, I just want to rush. I have to do this. Whether it is something that is right or wrong. So the opposite of impatience, it is patience. By patience, it is to what? To pull back, to slow down, and to think. Being patient, like what Shaykh Effendi is saying, is not when you are really upset, you say a couple of things, then later you cool down, then you say, I'm sorry. That is being patient. That is not being patient. Being patient is that time when you have the capacity, because the fire is building up. Here, patience according to anger, we're speaking about. When the fire is building up and you have the capacity to burn whatever that is in front of you, and you remember your Lord. What are you being upset about? Because the opposite of that, it is thinking. That's why Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying what? If you're angry, and if you're standing, sit down. And if it's still there, lie down. If it is still there, go take wudu with the cold water, pray 2 rakats. Because, we're talking about anger that is causing that impatience. Because shaitan has already entered. And shaitan is in our veins. And shaitan is putting fire there. And that fire is just going to circle around us. It's not going to leave us until we take it out. Why we have to let it enter? How do you now put out the fire that is coming inside of you? Are you remembering Allah? If you remember Allah, then that time, then you pull back, you start thinking, you start understanding. Sometimes it takes you just 1 or 2 seconds to pull back and not to say something, to do something that is going to burn what takes years for you to build. Because of one word. One moment of anger is going to give you years and years of regret. So, first we have to understand now the anger. It is coming from the fire. So what puts out the fire? Which is why Holy Prophet was saying, what? Well, it's water. Go take cold water. It's not just that physical water now. We're talking about cooling our hearts. Something is boiling. Now, if the man, he's not understanding himself and he thinks that, oh, I'm an angry person, so what? Then there is no help. You are going to be angry and you're going to burn yourself That time, if you have a gun in your hand, you will kill people. That time, if you have nuclear arms, you're going to kill nations. That time, if you cannot do anything, you're going to kill yourself, because the anger is going to give you that sickness that you will kill yourself. Then you ask me, what about anger for the sake of Allah? Anger for the sake of Allah is never to destroy, it is to build. Because even that fire now, that fire is to clean. Just as the fire of the hell, the Jahannam, the fire, it is to clean. To clean for what? So that you may enter into Jannah. Look, you're upset, something is boiling. First, don't be a slave to your ego. That if the master says do, and you're just going to do without thinking. If you're a slave to your ego, then the ego says get angry, you're just going to jump to get angry. Then you must sit down, you must first, you say what? Hasbinallahu ni'mal wakil. Very important. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. That puts you out. You're asking Allah for help, and the help is going to come to you. Sit down and you think, you understand the situation. Now, maybe first time you're doing it, you're not going to be very successful. Second time, you're going to become better. Third time, you start practicing now. Now you're going to understand that anger, the impatience, is caused by something. Don't expect to know everything in your first try. You cannot. You have to go by different stages. Then you have to understand. Later, after you cool down, then you look at that situation again, which is why in our way, tafakkur is very important. You were angry today. Don't just say, astaghfirullah, I was angry. Why were you angry? Are you questioning yourself? Today, I snap at someone. I yell at someone. Now, if you're doing tafakkur, 1 hour of meditation is better than 70 years of worship. Don't do 1 hour, do 5 minutes. That's all that you can do. What are we going to do? Then sit down. Today I was very angry. Why I was angry? Question yourself. Get used to it, because Allah is going to question you on the Day of Judgment. So say, why was I upset today? Really, why? Oh, I shouldn't be. Yes, but why? More you are harder on yourself, why to yourself, more sincere you're going to be. More sincere you are, more help will reach to you. More insincere you are, more you're not going to be in control of yourself, and others will control you. Not only your ego and shaitanic and egoistic people around you will control you. They know how to press your button. Because intelligence leaves. Once the intelligence leaves, the akal leaves, faith leaves. Which is why we have so many people, they pray, they do so many things, but they have no intelligence. That's why they can commit actions that is not intelligent and it is against what Allah and His Prophet is saying. Then you start to think, why I did that? Why? You're questioning yourself. Why? Is it because of this? Oh, this person did wrong. Okay, but why? Because you know by yourself if it is justified or not. And to what extent? Do I really have to use those words? Do I really have to get that angry? Could I have done it in a different way to get my point across? What is it that is triggering it off? Is it really because of that, or is it because I was upset with this person from a long time and I'm carrying that grudge in my heart? And I'm taking revenge by taking this situation. Or is it because I'm jealous of this person and I'm just looking for an opportunity? So now you are looking into yourself and you're understanding yourself. And you're polishing that mirror and you're looking. So next time things like that happen, you're not going to be fooled. You will sense it coming a mile away. You are not going to just start fighting when the enemy is in front of you. If you don't know, suddenly the enemy appears in front of you, you're lost. You have the best weapons, best everything, but the enemy just pops up, you lose, you're done. Because it isn't surprise, it is a strategy. If you can surprise someone, You already half of the battle you won. Why are we surprised now when we get upset, when we get angry? Should we be surprised? Should we say, oh, I don't know what came over me? No, you know what came over you. So now you start preparing. You must prepare when the enemy is very far away. You know the enemy is coming. The smart one is going to prepare in times of peace. Nothing is happening to us now. Now we're living in peace. Spiritually, we're not upset. Everyone is sitting here, no? I don't think anyone is upset. Maybe some of you are very upset with me, what I said to you yesterday. But now, you're in peace. Now you're in peace. Look, open your book and understand. And say that, okay, this triggered me off. This person, this word. And of course, in the dargah, to discover yourself, because some of us, we think we are so halim salim. We think we are so nice and patient. We have an image of ourselves. We have an idol of ourselves. Then you come here and suddenly you start to feel, I don't know why. This person says something and I just get upset. I don't know why. The Shaykh smiles at this one and I get so jealous. Yes. Those things will happen. Those things must happen. Because you have a different idea of yourself, but you have to take that out. The Shaykh has to take it out for you to understand, to look, and to take care of it. Because otherwise, these are just the enemies that is inside of you, sleeping. And one day, when you are sleeping, it will come up and it will attack and finish you. Look to the Sunnah. Look to your guide. Look to your murshid. How he handles. Patience is not saying, okay, I'm not going to react, but I'm going to remember and I'm going to take my revenge later. Okay? Look to your guide and see how he handles the situation. Because some, they may be screaming, but their hearts are not moving. Their words are very hot, but their hearts are very cool. Some people, their words are very cool, but their hearts are filled with hatred. Now there is a purpose for that now. There is a purpose for that. Understand why you are impatient, and you will find a way that time to be patient, looking at your guide. You don't like to be upset, to be angry is the last station of the ego. You don't like what is in front of you. You're getting upset for the sake of Allah? No. Even those ones they're getting for this, if they are upset for the sake of Allah, then they must know the best way, not the first way. Because when you're upset, the first thing you want to do is you want to hit out. No. They take a step back and they say, what about this way? What about this way? What about this way? They start to what? Plan and strategize. How are you going to plan and strategize if you don't have a cool head? Maybe you're fighting, the person who's very passionate and starts fighting like that without thinking, that's the first one who's going to get knocked down. May Allah give us more patience, inshallah rahman. Yes, of course. There are certain zikrs that you can do. But all these zikrs and everything, if you don't understand yourself, is not going to have too much of an effect on you. Don't think that Islam is just magic, tasawwuf is just magic. You have some spiritual disease, all you have to do is say a couple of words and everything is going to go away. It's not like that. The Sahabe Kiram, they did not transform from those ones who were living in the times of Jahiliyyah, with Jahiliyyah understanding and practices, to become a Sahabi overnight because of just some couple of words or ayats or du'as that they make. It is through 23 years of severe hardship and sacrifice. So yeah, if you're in the dargah and you're impatient, don't worry. The Shaykh is going to teach you. Very good. You don't know how to fix it yourself, he's going to fix it for you. Who are we? Who are we to get impatient? Well, Sheikh Effendi taught me what I'm trying to say to you. Something that is happening, something that is wrong that is happening. First, where that something went wrong, what is my fault in it? How can you get upset at that time? What is my fault in it? Even if it's something that is in your responsibility and other people do it, there must be something that you did for this thing to happen, especially in the Dargah. Correct? But we're very used to, when something wrong is happening, first it says to give excuse. How I'm not responsible. This is the wrong way. Then you'll never learn anything. First you have to say, how is this? Anything that happens here, which is why so many things in this Muslim world is happening, and Muslims, they don't care. They say, I'm not responsible for this. Before blaming others to say why others are not doing, why Muslims are not doing, say to yourself, how am I responsible for this to happen? Instead of saying, oh, Muslims are not helping, they're only concerned about doing other things, food and clothes and this and so many people. Say to yourself, what did I do in my life that contributed to this wrong thing to happen? And what am I doing in my life that is helping the situation? Then that time you're not going to judge. You're going to do. Those ones who have the responsibility to warn, that's something else. Because they have to do both. They have to work, change themselves, and to warn. May Allah give us more sabr, inshallah. Fatiha.